You've been there, right? A friend asks for your opinion, and you want to give that perfect piece of advice, the kind that sounds clear, confident, and just right. Well, today, we're going to sharpen a key tool in your communication toolkit so you can give advice with way more precision. It really all boils down to this simple choice. Should you tell them what to do, or ought you to? They seem so similar, but picking the right one can completely change the tone of what you're saying. So how in the world do you know which one to use?
That's what this is all about. We're going to master the art of giving great advice by focusing on just 2 little words. By the end of this, I promise, you'll know exactly when to use should and when to use ought to, making your guidance clearer than ever.
And the secret? It's not some crazy, complicated grammar rule. No, it all comes down to one simple, really powerful idea that separates these 2 words, and that is the formality rule. Let's break it down.
Okay, here they are, side by side. The biggest difference, really the only one you need to remember between should and ought to, is just the level of formality. One is for your everyday chats, and the other, well, that one's for more serious, kind of official situations.
So let's start with should. This is your go-to. Think of it as the word for common, everyday advice. It's friendly, it's informal, it's casual. You use this when you're talking to a friend about what movie to see or telling your brother he should probably try the new pizza place. It's just a suggestion, not a command. But then we have ought to. This one just feels heavier, right? It carries more weight. You pull this one out for formal, serious advice. It usually implies some kind of moral duty or a strong obligation. It's the kind of word a doctor or a teacher might use. It feels less like a suggestion and way more like a directive.
Okay, theory is one thing, but seeing it in the real world is everything. So let's put this formality rule to the test with a couple of clear examples.
All right, here's a classic. You should study. I mean, you've probably said this a million times, and you've definitely heard it a million times. It's super direct and clear. But the real key is thinking about who is saying it. And this is exactly where should shines. It's perfect for a friend giving another friend a casual tip before a test. There's no heavy duty here, right? It's just a strong, friendly suggestion. The informal peer-to-peer vibe makes should the absolute best choice. Okay, now let's flip the script. You ought to rest. Can you feel that? The whole feeling of the sentence just changed. It sounds so much more serious, doesn't it? It's like resting isn't just a good idea, it's something you have to do.
And that's because ought to is built for a more formal, authoritative situation. A doctor telling a patient to get some rest is the perfect example. The doctor isn't just suggesting it, they're giving a professional instruction. That word, ought to, delivers all of that seriousness and authority. Okay, you've seen the rule, you've seen the examples, now it's your turn. Let's do a quick little test to make sure this all sticks. You ready? You blank sleep. Now, just imagine you're saying this to a buddy who looks totally exhausted. Super common, everyday thing. So which word fits best? Should or ought to? I'll give you a second. Got it? The answer is should. If you got that right, awesome. You should sleep is the perfect, natural way to say that.
So why is it the right call? Simple. Because this is exactly the kind of casual, caring advice you'd give to a friend or someone in your family. There's no formal obligation involved, just a good suggestion. That's it.
We've gone through this pretty fast, so let's boil it all down into one simple, memorable rule that you can take with you. This is really the heart of the whole thing. Here it is. Just think of it as a quick mental checklist. The next time you're giving advice, just ask yourself, is this situation casual and friendly? If yes, go with should. Is it more formal, more serious, maybe even implying some kind of duty? That's your cue to use ought to. It's really that simple. So now you've totally mastered should versus ought to. But what about another one of those tricky pairs? Like, what's the real difference between saying you will do something versus you would do something? That's exactly what we're going to break down next time. See you then.